Mr. Speaker, in education terms, 7 years is 1,400 school days. 2,404 students starting P1 and 1,829 students graduating from S4. In 7 years, we've had cohorts of students who have completed the full cycle of primary school, the full cycle of senior school, and have completed at least an associate's degree at the Bermuda College. So, Mr. Speaker, it's an important time to reflect on the past 7 years since we took office. While we have faced many challenges, it is crucial for everyone in this honorable House and the public to be reminded of some of the key moments that required our attention and highlight how we address those concerns. And let's take this opportunity to recognize and appreciate the collective efforts and achievements. Mr. Speaker, in August 2017, in my second ever cabinet meeting as the Minister of Education, I had to present a cabinet paper seeking approval to hire an abatement firm to cleanse the mold from Delwood Middle School. On June 12, 2017, Delwood was forced to close as all students moved to the Bermuda College for the rest of the school year. The outgoing One Bermuda Alliance government's focus on the then America's Cup event appeared to be the only rationale for their inability to remediate the mold after 2 months of closure. Thankfully, the school opened on September 13th, only 2 days after all other schools. Mr. Speaker, as if that wasn't enough, another significant matter threatened to disrupt our students' learning and had to be dealt with in short order. In June 21, 2017, the Bermuda Union of Teachers held an emergency meeting in which a vote was passed for all teachers to go on work to rule against the then One Bermuda Alliance government. This development was not resolved until 3 months later, on September 2nd, a mere 8 days before the start of the 2017-2018 school term. An agreement was reached to end the work to rule. Again, the America's Cup's focus appears to have taken over precedence of our education system. Mr. Speaker, I speak to remind honorable members and the listening public of the state of affairs in which the incoming PLP government found our public school system, a victim of neglect that saw 4 education ministers in 5 years and unsustainable draconian budget cuts. Budget cuts that led to years of inadequate infrastructure upkeep. Schools regularly closed due to mold infestation or bird mites. Schools without basic necessary services like internet access, Wi-Fi access, modern computer hardware, lack of basic school supplies, and scholarships and awards that had been slashed by 50% from the levels the One Bermuda Alliance inherited in 2012. Mr. Speaker, before we could embark on the meaningful reform our education system needed and begin to phase middle schools out, basic remedial work was needed to stabilize the BPSS and their facilities, repair a strained relationship with union partners, and provide basic 21st century learning tools. Mr. Speaker, during those first years, the need to have a comprehensive evaluation of our school buildings to address safety and health matters. As a result of the lack of funding for regular maintenance and the removal of antiquated technology like dial-up internet and years-old computers, inadequate basic supplies, and other things that had not been addressed by the previous administration took our immediate attention. Mr. Speaker, at the end of the first 100 years in office, the commencement of upgrading all schools to high-speed internet and Wi-Fi was well underway. Safety and health reports had been drafted and funded to address immediate concerns that had been found and allocated. The Strategic Education Plan 2022 was sent back out for further consultation and refined to fully reflect the changes the people of Bermuda wanted to see in public education. Mr. Speaker, the additional consultation insisted upon by this government allowed Bermuda's voices to be heard, and it has been used to underpin the education reform we see today and will continue as we move into the future. Mr. Speaker, you've heard me say before, and I'll continue to say, as long as I have the privilege of serving in this post, our goal is to provide a world-class public education system, a public education system that helps our children follow their passions and interests build on their talents and capabilities, and achieve their career and life aspirations. A public education system we all can be proud of. Mr. Speaker, let me take you and the listening public of a journey of just a few of the changes that can be seen and felt already from entering the public school system in the early years through higher education at Bermuda College. This is the direct result of this government's laser-like focus in providing the necessary funding and resources to build a system that caters to all of our students. Mr. Speaker, early childhood education and services are key to developing well-rounded and successful students. Over the last 7 years, gaps that hindered progress in early years have been identified and addressed. One significant achievement is the introduction of the Bright Start program. Starting preschoolers at 3 and having the preschoolers for another year strengthens relationships between preschools and families. This gives the preschoolers time to learn and be supported by developmentally appropriate practices and interventions. Additionally, the expansion of services at the preschool level was done to include an ASD program, ensuring tailored support for children with autism spectrum disorder and fostering inclusivity. Mr. Speaker, to modernize our preschools, outdated dial-up internet was replaced with high-speed internet, and tablet devices were provided to enhance digital learning. The recent refurbishment of Lyceum Preschool is a model for future educational reform, setting a high standard for other institutions to follow. These initiatives collectively demonstrate our commitment to improving early childhood education and providing robust support for our youngest learners and their families. Parents have praised the Bright Start program, which has supported young students significantly and relieved parents' burden of paying for early childcare. The ASD program has ensured that all children receive the necessary assistance they need at an earlier age. The technology upgrades have brought preschools up to speed with 21st century learning, significantly improving educational experiences. Mr. Speaker, significant progress has been made at the primary and middle school levels with the phasing out of middle schools and introduction of parish primary school concept. Mr. Speaker, recognizing the need for students to access high-quality 21st century learning opportunities, installing high-speed internet and modern devices became a priority. Ironically, the Wi-Fi equipment that was purchased for America's Cup that had no identified use after the event, which previously resulted in budget cuts to education, was repurposed to equip our schools with modern Wi-Fi resources. This strategic reallocation of resources, the provision of updated devices, and the implementation of initiatives like Schoolology proved invaluable, particularly when COVID-19 pandemic struck. Mr. Speaker, when the pandemic caught school systems all worldwide off guard, Bermuda was able to leverage the systems already in place to establish a remote learning regime more quickly than anticipated. Although the learning curve was steep, as these resources had only just being implemented, the foresight to prioritize technological advancements in the early years of the PLP government allowed us to avoid the pitfalls of outdated dial-up internet in our schools. This proactive approach assured that our students continue to receive a quality education despite the unprecedented challenges of the pandemic. Mr. Speaker, education reform priorities provided our students and educators with updated learning tools. As a result of the pandemic and lessons learned, every child entering the BPSS in P1 now receives a Chromebook that remains with them throughout their primary school years. The implementation of PowerSchool, Schoology, and the eventual introduction of Google Classroom has given students, educators, and parents unprecedented access to school staff and children's schoolwork, along with consistent monitoring of student progress. As a BPSS parent, I have set up my PowerSchool account to send weekly updates, allowing me to review and promptly address any issues. This system provides parents with real-time reporting of their child's progress, ensuring they stay informed and engaged in their children's education. Mr. Speaker, the progress of transforming our primary schools into parish primary schools is underway, with Purvis Primary and Francis Patton Primary leading the way. Despite the challenges of being the first to undergo this change, feedback from educators, parents, and more importantly, students has generally been positive. While there are still areas to improve, the progress is evident. Each school has benefited from multi-million-dollar upgrades that are completed or currently underway. Mr. Speaker, as they enter their second year of transformation, Innovative learning experiences such as the dual language and co-laboratory programs are thriving. Initiatives like co-teaching, learning beyond walls, and the integrated learning model have shown data-driven successes. Notably, our year one student reading benchmarks have outperformed year one students of the last 3 years. And there has been observed improvements in students' confidence and communication and presentation skills. Mr. Speaker, the transformation of Elliott Primary and Harrington Sound Primary, scheduled to begin phasing in as parish primary schools in September 2025, is progressing steadily. We understand that fully transforming our system will take time to happen. However, it requires stability and a willingness to stay the course despite inevitable headwinds. This dedication ensures that our educational system will continue to evolve and improve for the benefit of our students. Mr. Speaker, the development of our signature senior schools is significant. We are now entering the third year of signature learning programs, which provide our children and young people with a less narrow focus on knowledge-based learning outcomes and better accommodate the development of 21st century skills and dispositions. Signature learning programs provide the platform for more real-world learning experiences and inquiry-based learning and teaching approaches. Through the diversification of the curriculum boards, learners can now access meaningful and relevant and internationally recognized curricula. While this transformation is not complete, the voices of our community to provide students with genuine pathways beyond school, be it trades, international business, or hospitality and tourism, is well underway. This is a vast improvement to the one-size-fits-all system we inherited when taking office. Mr. Speaker, it's not just academics either. Our senior schools have begun implementing the Character Strong program through advisory to create a school environment supporting all students' healthy social and academic development, building trusting relationships with and among students and advisors. This has encouraged growth, self-reflection, and problem-solving among students. As we consider the very recent tragic events, this government commits to continuing the expansion of this space by including our parish primary schools, as we firmly believe our schools should be seen as places where healing could and should happen. Mr. Speaker, the transition from senior school to higher education is a significant one. Over and over, we read news stories and research studies demonstrating, in particular, Black students face considerable barriers when attending and completing college and gaining a solid economic foothold, with a significant barrier identified as being the cost of higher education. In 2017, this PLP government pledged to increase funding for scholarships to provide public school students with more opportunities for higher education and enhance accessibility to Bermuda College by offering financial support to students in need. Since then, this government has returned the funding for tertiary education to the levels it was when the PLP was voted out of office in 2012. Mr. Speaker, between 2012 and 2017, the One Bermuda Alliance cut this crucial funding from just over $2 million to around $1 million. Since 2017, money allocated to scholarships and awards has steadily increased to its now level of over $2 million. This increased funding has enabled more students to benefit from financial support for tertiary education, including the annual grant of $300,000 to the Bermuda College for financial aid and creating the College Promise Program. The College Promise Program allows graduates from the Berkeley Institute and Cedar Bridge Academy with a 3.0 GPA or higher to attend the Bermuda College tuition-free. Mr. Speaker, I recall a conversation with a student who intended to attend St. Francis Xavier University through the College Promise Program. They explained how this program, along with the Bermuda College's articulation agreement with St. Francis Xavier University, would allow them to transfer Bermuda College credits and enter the third year of a bachelor's degree program. By choosing this pathway, the student and their family have potentially saved approximately $68,000 in tuition and fees compared to the cost of studying abroad directly from high school. This highlights how the College Promise Program is not only helping parents save money, but also opening educational doors for all students. Mr. Speaker, the PLP government firmly believes in prioritizing our students' futures, unlike the previous government. The previous government's decision to cut funding for scholarships and awards by half was unconscionable, showing a lack of foresight and moral responsibility. I shudder to think how many students had their education dreams deferred or canceled due to their short-sighted and morally bankrupt decision to divert funds from these essential student support initiatives. While the government elected by the people should be saying good luck in school to all students, they unfortunately were saying better luck next time. Mr. Speaker, I finally want to pay tribute to the Education Authority Working Group members. This dedicated group believes in the transformation needed within public education and has demonstrated its commitment through significant personal contributions. They have diligently researched, conducted numerous meetings for almost 3 years, and compiled a comprehensive plan for an education authority without compensation or public recognition. Their selfless efforts have laid the groundwork for a transformative change to our education system. I look forward to this House's return in September, where I will table the Education Authority legislation marking the next major phase in our education reform. This legislation will be crucial in ensuring that our education system continues to evolve and meet the needs of all Bermudians. Mr. Speaker, while today highlights some of the many initiatives over the last 7 years, this is by no means a complete list. The tireless efforts of the dedicated members of the Education Reform Unit, the Department of Education, Libraries and Archives, and the Bermuda College staff are continuously focused on improving education delivery to our students and creating pathways for all Bermudians to thrive. Mr. Speaker, we celebrate these 7 years of progress, but we must acknowledge the hard work and dedication that has brought us to this point. However, now is not the time for complacency. The journey ahead requires an unwavering commitment to transforming Bermuda's public education system. Bermuda's children deserve nothing less than our best efforts to provide them with the highest quality education. Mr. Speaker, let us continue to strive for excellence, ensuring that our education system not only meets but exceeds the needs of our students. We must prepare them for a bright and prosperous future, equipping them with the skills and knowledge to succeed in an ever-changing world. Our goal is to foster an environment where every student has the opportunity to reach their full potential and contribute positively to our society. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.